Good morning.
Good morning. It's Friday, the 21st of October, and we are here doing some live Q&A for all things Amazon. How are you doing, Tina?
I feel tired this morning. I feel relaxed, a little lazy, a little tired, but like in a good way. Does that make sense? Can you be relaxed, lazy, and tired in a good way?
Yeah, I think you can. I'm just trying to get awake. I was telling Tina earlier, I had really weird, I don't want to say nightmares, but really weird dreams. I had aliens and there was a fire and my one of my best friends in college was there in like a Cinderella dress. I mean, it was bizarre. It was
Yeah,
bizarre. I
those
don't know
dreams.
why.
And then I always try to analyze them the next day. Like, what did that
Yeah,
mean? You know,
yeah. It makes you wonder, like, why
is
were
this
they in my
speaking
dream?
something to me about my life?
Maybe. I try not to overthink them, but normally, as soon as I wake up, within 5 minutes, it's out of my head. I don't remember. I can't recall
Yeah,
dreams.
sometimes it's something that triggers it. You're like, oh, wait, what was I dreaming last night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I wake up exhausted with heavy dreams like that. It's like you're fighting battles in your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good morning, Karen. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Karen.
So we've got a slew of questions or answers, I guess more so, but questions and answers to go over with you guys today, just things that have popped up. And we pulled these questions from, I pulled some from emails or interactions with people that I've done this week from our Facebook group, which is Online Selling with Tina, and or other reseller boards out there. So, we've pulled from a number of different places on some of the things that are going on today or going on this week. And I think we want to talk about what do you call it? Ungating first, because we had a question about ungating. So I brought up some websites on Ungating or, that you can go and use. And the first one that I send a lot of people to is Shepherd. It's not Shepherd, but Sheffer. So sometimes when I'm answering on the phone, it autocorrects to shepherd.com, which is, I don't know what that website's about. So don't go
I
there.
always have to check. I always have to check the spell correct because I speak a lot of my text messages because it's faster and
Mm-hmm.
even when I type in the word ASIN, ASIN, it autocorrects to Asian
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time. And it's just like, no, ASIN, not Asian.
Yes. Yes. I've added autocorrect to things like, I want all the Asians. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, that's just weird. God. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if you guys were around back in the day when there was the tub girl versus tub cat prank going on in the forums back in the day when before you had Facebook things, you had
At
forums. Don't go to
forums.
either of those sites, by the way. Unless you don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trick. It's a trick. All right. So I pulled up on Shepherd.com what it takes to become a business customer there. And this is what you're going to need. Now, these guys deal with Amazon all the time. They ship to Amazon. I don't find them lucrative, but for ungating purposes, you can totally use them. And I bring this up because my personal favorite way to get ungated with things is Amazon to Amazon. But some people are saying that method might get you suspended. I don't know, and I'm just offering alternatives here. So if you are kind of leery about using Amazon to Amazon ungating, this is an alternative. So with their application, you have to have a tax ID. It says here that you do not have to have a resale, or if you don't have a resale cert, they want to know if you're selling on Amazon. It's fine to answer that you're selling on Amazon. What they're looking for is they probably do business with certain brands that say no Amazon sellers, and so they just make sure that you're not going to be purchasing those and getting in trouble. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's
And not
normal.
only that, they don't want to get in trouble by the manufacturer that they're
Oh yeah.
doing business with because if they breach their contract with, one of the supply chains that they have, that costs them money as well.
Yeah, exactly. They have an FAQ section, and it will go over all of the things that you're probably interested in, including their MOQs, fees, inventory, how to pack out boxes, what their parameters are. And then if you're interested in what they kind of sell, they've got action figures, they've got arts and crafts, Barbies, plush, dolls, Play-Doh, they've got all sorts of things. So if you're going into this Q4 and you want to sell toys, most likely they have a toy. The other website that I send people to for ungating purposes is EE Distribution. Now, I do have to caveat here that whatever company you're dealing with, you buy them and then you sell them. Don't buy and try to return them. Don't be like, well, I just needed it for ungating and now I want to return the product. No, they won't work with you again. You will burn bridges if you do that. So plan on taking a loss, plan on giving out Barbies for Christmas or whatever you need to do. And just be aware that you don't really need to tell them you're using it for ungating. They probably know, but make the purchase and then sell or use.
Consider it a business cost, and you may recoup your money, you may break even, maybe you'll get lucky and find something that has a bit of profit, but
exactly.
Just consider it a business cost. So then you have to ask yourself, whatever that cost you to buy that toy, if it's 100, if it's 500, is getting ungated in that brand worth that cost for you?
Exactly. And you know what? It's going to be worth it to be able to sell some of these toys during Q4. Now I didn't hit enter. Now I've hit enter. I put Shepherd in the description, not the description. What do you call it? In the chat. I put the thing in there.
Yeah, we got to wake up.
Karen, I just put it in the chat. Like you must have hit right as I hit. So the question that we had earlier was specifically about Cabbage Patch Kids and Jazzwares. So if you're not familiar, Jazzwares sells Cabbage Patch Kids. They own Kelly Toy, which does Squishmallows. So if they're the parent brand. And I can't remember when they bought Kelly Toy, but it was it's been within the last like 5 years, I want to say. Anyhow, you could Google that if you're interested. So when you are sourcing, sometimes people put the brand under Jazzwares, or they'll put the brand as Squishmallows. So you just need to be like Hasbro owns My Little Pony.
And I'm drawing a blank on, and this is kind of on and off topic, but when we're talking about getting these listings shut down lately, for UPC not matching the brand. So in the past, sometimes people were not allowed to create a listing for, let's say, Jazzware, but they could for the brand Squishmallow. I'm drawing a blank because my brain is too tired. There is the website where you can plug in the UPC to see who owns the UPC, what company it is under.
Yeah, no, I go there 3 times a week.
I do too. And right now, I'm still not all the way awake, people.
I'm going to put it in.
But when you
I always type in GS1 barcode lookup, and you're going to
get and so when you are trying to get approval nowadays to create a listing for a certain brand, and maybe you're confused, like if you have a Squishmallow, is it Kelly Toy? Do I use the name Squishmallow? Do I use Jazzwares or whatever? You can plug in the UPC code from your product, and you can see who. Oh, are you a robot?
I'm trying not to be a robot.
Lucy find the chimneys.
I've failed these before.
I have too, because they make them tricky.
Yes.
And so what UPC code was this that we're looking up?
This is for some Myers cleaning. This is the best smelling cleaner. It's honeysuckle scent.
I thought for sure it's going to be that Bath and Body lotion that's always there.
I'm gonna mail you my empty thing of Bath and Body lotion. I think it's got 1 squirt left. But so you would think this is under Myers, but it's actually under SC Johnson and Son.
So when Amazon is coming after a listing, this Myers, for instance, may be flagged, maybe not flagged. But let's say it was flagged because it was listed under the brand Myers when the UPC code belonged to SC Johnson and Son Inc. So these are some of the things to take into consideration when you're asking for approval to list something. So it's kind of on and off topic because it does fall under this new GTIN problems that people are facing. For products that are listed using incorrect UPCs when they may be correct, or they may be old listings where people bought these UPCs off of eBay and it's been a listing that's been up on Amazon for years.
Yes. Now I have a funny side story. I keep this website pretty much bookmarked. I go there quite a few times a week, and I had somebody on Fiverr message me, and they're like, I need help listing a product. Okay, what you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to use this UPC code and I can't get it listed. So I punched in their UPC code and it's not associated with any brand. It's broken. It's not working. Like when you go to that page, it says unknown. So I swear it took like 3 or 4 different tries to get this person to understand that I can't help you. Like you need to go to them. It's just not, if you have a UPC that's not linked to the proper brand, it ain't going to work. There's nothing that I can do to fix that other than GTIN exemption. But that's not what they wanted to do. They wanted to use their barcode.
And then so as far as going for brand approval, and you're trying to get approved for the correct brand, you know, that could be an avenue that you want to look up as well on some of these listings.
That is a very good point, because I had, I was trying to get brand approval for something and it was not linked to what I wanted. Let's say I wanted to get Myers, and there's no way that I would ever get brand approval to list, what is this called? Miss Myers, because it's under SC Johnson. Now I might be able to use it and get approval for SC Johnson, but not ever Myers. So
some of this stuff is in the unknown right now because this is, again, part of Amazon's ever evolving things. But, you know, we will get this figured out too. And once we're figured out and rolling again, they're going to change it.
Of course.
You get whiplash. Amazon. Need to see a chiropractor for Amazon.
Pretty much. The same goes if you are buying a barcode, because they're $30 on GS1, you buy them, you have to tell them what your company or your brand is going to be. And then when you list, it's got to be under that. So it's got to match. So you got to understand how the system works, and then you'll have a much better time in life. If you don't understand what's going on, you're going to be very confused. And I'm sometimes there, but okay, we're going to move on. Jazzwares, this is all of the things that Jazzware owns, where they've got Roblox, Pokemon, all of that. So you could just click. Somebody asked about Pokemon too a couple of times.
And I believe you can get ungated buying on Pokemon.com, I think is the site. Pokemon has an official site. I don't know that for a fact, but it just common sense tells me that why wouldn't you? You're buying it from the official site.
Hold on. I've never been to the Pokemon site. Let me go there. Pokemon. That's got to be it, right? Pokemon, the official site.
There you go. Right. That's it. That's the one.
So, like Lego.
Selling and collecting the Pokemon.
How do you buy stuff here? Pokédex? I don't even. Shop. Ha, ha, ha.
You know, the people do unboxing videos of Pokemon cards on YouTube. And, you know, it's been around since my kids were little, and it still has a cult following. You know, Pokemon's just one of those that I think will always be here.
What is this? Oh, I didn't want to click
that. With the designer, Danielle.
Yeah. What is this? First partner plush have arrived. I don't know if I want that. What would be just Pokemon? I'm so confused.
Well, decks of cards.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find. Why did we go up?
I think it should be at probably the top too. There should be for just buying cards. What's there? Trading cards.
Trading cards. There we go. So trading cards, Look at that. It's got a little Halloween Pikachu. That is so cute. I feel like I clicked it and now, oh, there we go. So here we go. Here we've got $3.99 for some cards. You could buy 10 of those. But Pokemon is one of the most, I think it is the most stolen card at the stores. Target has started locking them up. Certain stores have started locking them up because it's essentially gambling for kids. I know there's been some big lawsuits about cards and
Yeah,
having.
there's like baseball cards and,
Mhm.
Pokemon cards that they want to buy the entire box sets because they can be flipped for a really good profit on Amazon and eBay and as far as our community, I mean, there's a lot more going on with Pokemon cards than just us.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with Pokemon and cards in general. My
But I
husband's big.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I was
Oh,
going to say that I think that this site should ungate you.
I would
And
think so.
yeah,
I would think so, but I haven't tried. I don't need to. But my husband does Magic the Gathering, and he watches Rudy, who, if you do Magic the Gathering, you know who I'm talking about. Anyhow, there's a ton of, like, the whole card game has its own community to it. It's crazy. All right. So what I did was typed in wholesale Cabbage Patch because they were asking about that. And I came up with a couple of things. One, Alibaba, don't buy here. These
I
are
was going to say, what are you saying, Lucy?
no, don't do it. I see this question pop up in groups from time to time on, can I just buy it from Alibaba? No,
You can.
Alibaba, it's fake. I hate to tell you. I don't care what they tell you. You can say, oh, but they told me it's not fake. I don't care. It's fake. It's kind of like the spam email. If the spam email is asking you to put in your bank login, it's fake. It's fake. So don't do it. I did want to point out that this vegetable Cabbage Patch dog just made me laugh this morning. It's a
That is
cabbage
funny.
dog.
Yeah, I had to help a lady with a plan of action. She was suspended on Amazon for selling Minecraft item that she bought off of Alibaba and she didn't understand. She said, I bought it from the factory that makes it, and she just couldn't understand why her account was suspended on Amazon for selling it when she said she has an invoice from the factory from China that made it. And, there are some newer sellers that really just don't understand it. And because we've been around longer, we understand that these are not officially licensed items on Alibaba. So it took me a few tries, but we won her plan of action against her, getting her account reinstated for having sold these items she bought on Alibaba. But be very careful because it can get you shut down.
Oh, yeah, it can. I'm going to let y'all in on another little secret. If you are in the city and you see a little pop-up vendor that's selling Gucci or Ray-Bans, those are fake too. Just let you know. You cannot get a Gucci purse on the corner for
I
$5.
got a
It's
Gucci
not going to be
purse
real.
inside of a van in New York City.
Yeah. If you're in the back of a van
I have.
buying merchandise, it'd be fake.
I bought
And
all kind of fake stuff in Manhattan. That's just fun.
yeah, yeah, I'm not against buying those. I love some cheap sunglasses
Just
myself.
don't try to resell them.
Yeah, if you want to buy them, I don't like that they're kind of ripping the brand off. But at the end of the day, Ray-Ban and Gucci can take it. In my opinion, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. We've got Costco. Now, do you know off the top of the head? I want to say yes, that Costco wholesale will work for ungating.
I feel like I have heard that it does, that someone has tried it, but I cannot say for sure. I've never verified it myself. Um,
Okay.
so I cannot give an honest answer on that. But
Okay.
it might be worth a try. I would try getting ungated something with a Costco invoice just for the heck of it. I can be a test dummy. I just got to find something I'm restricted in.
Yeah, I'm not, and it would be kind of expensive too. Like, probably they don't have a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
And their items are usually, I don't want to say the higher end, but it's usually like the big Cabbage Patch or something. It's
Yeah.
not going to be a keychain. I had I this one came up, and I'm not sure if this is legit or
It
not.
is. Yes, Kelly's
Okay.
is because they are one of my vendors actually, and
You.
I do have a wholesale account with Kelly's. They provide gift shop items to places like hospitals, to their gift shops. Kelly's is a legitimate website that does give invoices.
Perfect. Okay, so Kelly's is another option. We're just trying to give you all some options. You gotta do the research. I mean, once you know that this is something that is good and it's a good place to go get a thing, then you're gonna have to go find a product, go over to Amazon, find the matching listing, make sure it's the one that you're restricted in, do the purchase, submit the invoice. If it doesn't go through the first time, you may have to annotate it or submit it multiple times.
And I do want to point out that Kelly's also, I don't know if they currently have anything in stock, but they do sell, think of things like Tums and the little aspirin packs that gas stations would buy. Because remember, this store is for like gift shop type stores. There you go. So for those needing
OTC?
Yeah, that this site could possibly work.
I bet you some of these lotions would be good too. Yeah, Gold Bond. I know the Gold Bond is over on Amazon and Jergens.
Yeah, and these are all those little like trial size type deals.
Yes. So what that means is, let's say this Gold Bond is over on Amazon, but it's in a 3-pack. You're going to need to order 30 so that you have 10
3-packs.
Units. Yeah.
And sites like this are great for, bundlers that are out there that need your little obscure item for your bundle.
I like the soap. Yeah, definitely. We got Banana Boat here, so Banana Boat could be a good one. I know that people want to get Ungated for that. Me Time. It's a good one there. I'm trying to see a Copper Tone. That could be. I wonder if Burt's Bees is under here too. Burt's Bees are great. Burt's.
Yeah.
Yep, I got Burt's Bees. Ooh, this is a nice little gem to put in your back pocket. I was going through their wholesale clearance earlier, just kind of looking for things and seeing what was there. They've got some Disney, just some different things there. Like Tina said, bundling and whatnot. And then Supply Leader. I have never used these guys, and they require $40 a month for their subscription.
I've heard of this site, but I've never subscribed to them. And I feel like I stumble upon this site from time to time as well.
Yeah. They've got a ton of things, but my guess is they get, I don't know if they work directly with the manufacturers or if they're sourcing just from Alibaba and then bringing it over and distributing it. I don't know. One of these days I'm going to cough it up.
You will have to see its reviews on SiteJabber. I've been using SiteJabber to check when I find these obscure websites and I want to know, like, is this site legit? Are they known for counterfeits? Are they known for taking your order but never sending you your product? SiteJabber is a really great website to plug in the site that you are shopping on. I know there's another one of our members in one of our paid groups that will catch some things that I missed and say, oh, on SiteJabber, there's, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I've used this one and I've used a few others. So I typically just go like that and then do reviews. And Trustpilot is probably the one that I go to the most.
As well.
Total scam. Out of Hong Kong with fake reviews here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Maybe I will stay away from that.
It looks like more. Oh, no, there's a few bad ones mixed in with some good ones. So it does seem to be a little mixed up, doesn't it? It's like every other one is bad, good, bad, good.
And they might be paying for the good. So.
They may be to counteract all their bad ones. So with that many bads, I would stay away. When there's one bad and a bunch of good ones, then I just look at it like a ticked off customer that left a bad review.
Yeah. So SiteJabber and the other Trustpilot are both goods. Kohl's has been working for, we do know this one.
Yes,
Kohl's has been working for submitting.
Verified Ungates with Kohl's.
They are going to be, a little bit on the more expensive. You want to check out their clearance. I just typed in for real because I know for reals are for real fun. These are the ones. This is the one I sold so many of this guy, but I think it was a different kind.
Yours was a cat. Yeah, it was cats last year from Walmart that were meowing in our cars.
Oh,
I do want to mention, speaking of the paid groups and SiteJabber on our live, I did want to mention, did that one VA spot fill up? Did anyone take it?
No, we have one VA spot open, and we still have the group. The ones that are not VA driven, that is just group driven, do have spots open, and the VA group had one spot open this week.
Yeah, so if any of you want to jump on that VA spot, I know it will go fast. Everybody that's been in there has been in there from the beginning. And then we never did fully fill up the BOLO groups. We kept it smaller on purpose, and it will still be small. But Lucy has opened it up to be able to add in a few more, now that we are really in the height of the season. If anyone wants to jump in those groups, make sure you jump in there pretty quickly. They're really great groups. There's such a great group of people in there. And if anyone that is on the live watching that is in any of our groups, give a shout out in the comments section and say hey.
Good morning, everybody that's joined the chat. Brittany asks, how much is it? The VA group's $100 for each month, and we've got, it's a little late. We're just a couple days into this second month, and then we'll be running. We're doing from 15th to the 15th, so October 15th to November 15th, and then the last month.
Yeah, and there's only 20 people in the group, so it's very small. So that way our leads don't get flooded.
And then the group-led one is $25.
Yeah, 25 for that one. So that's a real deal. But the group driven one, you have to, part of what it is that you're required weekly to put in 5 bolos for the group. So everybody in there puts in their 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Karen says a bolo group is super fun.
Yay. This was from Shepherd. I forgot to bring it up, but they do have for Amazon customers, and this goes out in the email once you have an account. You'll get emails regularly, a little too regularly. But anyhow, they give you all of the we can't do this and that, and it answers all the questions you may have. Tina, you mentioned in a video you were planning to do with your VA group, VA to explain more about how a VA can be affordable to all sellers. Yeah, we did that one, I think.
We did that this summer. Yeah, we did that this summer. And so there is a video. Is it just in the Facebook group or did I put it on YouTube too? I don't recall. But I do have a lady in our group who has access to all the VAs. She's the one that trains them. And how a VA can be affordable to you is whatever you're paying your this is just going to be a Cliff Note version, that let's say you're paying your VA $100 a month, you need to be making at least $200 a month profit on the things that you're having them find for you that you're buying. So the way that I do that is I would take a Google spreadsheet, and I know what I'm paying my VA that week. Then I copy and paste what I bought, how many, and then the total value of those items of what I would net profit on them after I sell them. And then I would track it to see, are these things selling? Did I make my money back? And I usually do that for about 2 months when I first will hire a VA to see that they are in fact paying for themselves and that my numbers truly did increase. It's not as hard to do as it sounds like it is, but that is how you can track. That's just a Cliff Note version. And the VAs that we utilize are very affordable to us because we outsource them from the Philippines.
Yes. Okay. I hope that answers your question. We did do it. It was with Marina.
Well, no, Marina, we did tactical arbitrage. It's with Divine in our Facebook group. So Jordan, if you're in the Facebook group, there is a video in there. You can, in the search bar, type in maybe Divine or even VA. I'd have to look since I'm not in the group right now, but I did do a video with Divine, and she is in our group, in our Facebook group.
Yep. All right. Inventory Lab and the workflow. Inventory Lab sent out an email yesterday, and I'll save you the blah, 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 and then a second page of blah, blah, blah. They're working on it, and they suggest for right now, highly advise you remain on the old workflow. So if you're using If you are using Inventory Lab to push your shipments through, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's the new workflow with Amazon. It's complete. It's terrible. I did a video yesterday on it that will be coming out in the next couple of days on what to do. But basically, use the old workflow and it won't be as terrible. And hopefully they'll get this fixed soon. Good morning, Nate. He's getting his blood drawn.
Good times.
Jordan says, great, thank you. I'll go back and check it out. Lucy, also shout out to you. I've been watching you since the beginning. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I didn't have any issues yesterday using inventory with workflow. Good. Good. I did. I tried out the new flow and I'm like, God, why don't you just tie my hand behind my back, man? This is just terrible. All right. Got a question here. I think I can close some of those tabs down too. Okay. I recently sourced, somebody messaged me this one saying they recently sourced some hemps. It's like lotion and shampoos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were issuing out IP complaints. And the guy's question centers around, they have a large amount of this in their inventory. The IP letter was mailed to them. What do? They don't want to be having their account shut down, but they also can't really afford to take that big of a loss. What would you say to them, Tina?
Well, if it is an item that you're going to get your Amazon account shut down over, I would pull it out. I would pull it out and you better flip it on eBay or somewhere else. And if it hasn't been over 30 days, you may have luck returning it to the store.
I said, just sell out and delete. Sell out quickly if you can't. Since the letter came in the mail, I find that when people are sending me IP things in the mail, they usually send like first warning, second warning,
right.
Third warning.
I would wait it out. Yeah. And in that case, you wait it out and try to sell them before they come after you within Amazon. But if your message is not within Amazon's platform, then I don't worry about it as much. It will stay on my radar, but I'm not going to hurry up and pull out my inventory at that moment.
Exactly. All right. Next thing that I pulled. This one was interesting. Somebody in our group posted, received an FBM order with this ship to address, and Google shows that it is a prep center with a lot of poor reviews. And would you ship it? So we had quite the discussion about this.
Yeah,
it was shady. When you go and Google that website, there's a lot of bad reviews, and we're wondering what's going on. If you want to go and cancel, that's totally up to you. I don't know. What did you think about this one?
Well, when I was selling on eBay, I would get orders shipped to a weird address like that one. I don't know that it was that one, but it was actually an address for people who lived overseas, and it was the middleman address. So they would buy things in the US, it would all go to this business address, and from there it forwards over to the other company. And there had been a lot of bad reviews on the site, and I shipped to it anyway and was fine. In this case, because this one is actually a drop shipping address, I would be very leery of that. First off, I commend them for even checking out that address, because I don't know that I copy and paste every address that I'm sending it to. Now, if an address jumped out at me like, oh, wow, this looks a little weird, I have Googled and looked up the address as well, because part of the discussion was that when your item is being shipped to a law office, that oftentimes that office is doing counterfeit test buys on behalf of their client. Mm-hmm. So, that one really does sound a bit risky. But then do you cancel your order and get the ding on Amazon for an order cancellation? Because what if they order it again tomorrow and the next day? Like, how can you keep canceling orders?
I think you can call and report that you don't, I think you can call and report. I've never tried, but it'd be interesting to see if you got on the phone with customer support and been like, I think there's something shady going on.
On eBay, one feature I love is on eBay, you can block certain buyers from buying from you. And so it's like, I love that feature on eBay. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if we could do that on Amazon?
Yeah. It would be. Now, my take is okay, so yeah, the law office thing I would totally be a little leery on. I may, if I was buying something and I wasn't quite sure of its legitness and I was shipping it, I might cancel that one. But for all my other FBM orders, I don't pay attention to the address, honestly. It goes. Sometimes we find weirdness with it and we chuckle, like people named kind of funny, or I always get a kick over, people will name their kids like Timmy when their last name is McTimison, and you're like, oh my gosh, what a tongue twister. Why would you do that to your poor child? But I don't pay attention to it. And if you ship through Amazon, you're pretty protected if they say they didn't get it or whatnot. They can just file an A to Z claim. So I would definitely ship through Amazon at that
And Ben
point.
commented below, and I'm curious, Ben. He says a lot of mine come from the same very suspicious address. It's a random mailbox address. So, what I want to know is if a lot of yours are coming from that address, are you sending them? Are you having problems because of it? I am curious if you'd comment. I will say I did look up an address, and I think I've told this story before on the live, and this was. I don't know if this was last Q4 or the one before, when we were selling a Hanukkah candy. You remember the candy in our little private group. And I had somebody complain after they got it. They were so ticked off. They left me a bad seller review. It wasn't a product review, but a seller review that I overcharged them, that it was ridiculous for such a small bag of candy, how much this item cost. And my thought was, one, I was in line with all the other sellers on Amazon, what their prices were. You knew what the price was when you bought it. That's your problem. You shouldn't have bought it then. But they left me a bad review. So I had to communicate with this customer because I wanted that review taken down from my Amazon account because Amazon would not auto remove it, even though the whole review was on pricing. However, I did have to communicate back and forth with this seller. I let them keep the item for free. I refunded them and I kindly asked them if they would consider removing their review. And they did. They hustled me out of, I think it was like 4 bags of this candy. The reason why I Googled their address is because they gave me such a hard time, worked so hard to get it for free, leaving the bad review. And if their address wasn't in Beverly Hills, and I Googled that address. I looked it up on how you can see like the street view of their house, and they lived in a house, 3 times the size of mine in a zip code that around the world, we know that this is where wealth lives. And you're going to hustle me over some candy that cost you like 14 bucks, 12 bucks, whatever it was. It wasn't like $50 candy. So Ben says he's had no issues with those letters from that Houston mailing address. No law office or anything linked there, just very suspicious.
Okay, so he's getting letters. How the rich stay rich. Ain't that the truth? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's ridiculous sometimes what people want to get for free from you. I'm not going to New Orleans. My husband's going to go to the holiday party without me. I'm pretty bummed about it. And that's because when I looked it up, it was going to be over $1,000 and they had multiple stops from here to New Orleans and it was going to be just way too expensive. You know what I didn't do? I didn't buy the ticket and then bitch about it. That's,
Yeah.
you make your choice. You either buy it or you don't.
It's too
Amazon.
expensive. I want
Huh?
my money back. Yeah, because that would be the equivalent of doing that to an airline, right?
Right.
The ticket you charged me for this trip is just overpriced. It was too expensive and I want my money back.
Yeah. And,
You
and
knew
doing
what
it like after I
when you bought it, Lucy.
yeah.
Right. And that's the way I feel when Amazon, sellers will complain about a cost of an item that they bought. Well, you knew the price when you clicked the buy it now button.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
I don't like to dog on millennials too much, but it is such a stereotype out there that some of these younger kids out there and some older ones too. My son would argue this one with me, which I love. I love that he argues with me. But anyhow, people complain over the silliest things, and it's like, wait a minute, they think they're entitled to stuff. like people thinking they're entitled to my time or my effort or my response or my money or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're not in charge of me. Why do you think you're entitled to whatever you think you're entitled to? It is the one that nags me the most, and I'll just go off on a little tangent, is I'll be out shopping, right? And as a retail arbitrage person, sometimes we have pretty full carts, right? I'll get in a line and I'll have, an overflowing cart. And I've got 2 orders because I've got a business order, I've got a personal order. There's like 2 checkout people, and somebody will get behind me juggling like 2 items or maybe 5. They've got their hands full, and they think that just because they have less items than me, that they're entitled to go before me. And they're like, oh, I'm going to go before you. And it's like, wait a minute, you didn't even ask. You didn't ask politely. And you're not entitled to go before me. We both, I got here before you. And just because I have a cart full and you only have 5, does not mean that you automatically are entitled to go before me. Anyhow, that's my rant for the day.
Yeah, no, if you offer it to them, because I've been in that same position where I offer like, oh, go ahead before me. Because, it's like, I feel bad that they have such few items. And there have been times where we've let 2 or 3 people go ahead of us. And then I've had to stop because I would be there all day letting people go ahead of me. And then I'll take my turn and, and I'll turn to the person behind me like, look, you see, I've got a lot. I've already let a few go ahead. I actually take the time to say the things to the people, because I've also been the person with 3 things in my hand. Every line has a billion people in it and they all have full carts. And I'm hoping that, that person will extend that same thing to me and say, oh, go ahead. You can go ahead of me, because I appreciate when they do that. But, you are right.
These are the guys that there's like 6 lines open and they purposely get behind me. And I turn to them and I'm like, I have a lot of stuff. I'm going to be a minute, just letting you know.
Yeah.
Because then they can go and look for another line if they don't want to, because I'm in a hurry too most of the time. I have children to feed.
True. And we are not even obligated to have to explain that to the person behind us. I choose to do it just because that's just my nature. But I don't know that there's a right or wrong, because you're not entitled to get to go ahead of somebody that has a lot. It does suck behind the person, being behind them, if they do have a lot. If they say something to you about it or not, you have common sense. You see, you have a few, they have a lot. No words need to be exchanged. They can just go in another line. So, I mean, there's no right or wrong in any of it really.
Yeah. No, it's just the 99% of the time it's all good, but it's the 1% of the entitlement that just because of whatever your situation is, it doesn't mean that you're entitled to go. Anyhow, we'll move on from my rant. We've got, let's see here. This one is from Amazon Seller Performance Suspensions Rights Owner Legal Issues, ASGTG, one of my favorite groups to follow. And somebody put in here that English tea shop products are getting ready for IP claims. I don't know how
they know that it's getting ready for it.
It's something with they linked like a communication that was going on with it. But boy, I love getting these little tidbits of information, because now I know I will not be doing any sort of English tea shop, and stay away from that. I don't know that
I've ever sold English tea shop tea.
I don't think I have either, but I know that I was kind of sourcing it, because when the Queen died, there was a lot of, you saw anything that was English and related to the Queen go up when she passed on eBay and or Amazon. So I know they had some commemorative tea thingies come out at some of the shops. We've got Indy 4 has had a lot of stuff stolen.
I don't know. This was the shoe warehouse that we talked about.
It's a shoe warehouse.
Boxes of shoes.
There's definitely an illegal shoe ring going on there. I don't know how they're operating or anything, but there's just too much evidence of shenanigans going on. And there is now a petition. So I'm going to give the link to the petition. If you have had and or been involved and or had loss of shoes, you're going to have to copy and paste it. It broke it up because it's a long thing. But there is an investigation going on over there. And you can join this petition and sign up to get I don't know, to be part of this. I am not sourcing shoes right now, so I'm not, I'm not
And if you
involved in
are
it.
sourcing shoes, just make sure in your batch closeouts that they're not going to this warehouse, because the posts that you may or may not have seen online about people getting boxes of shoe shipments gone missing specifically to this warehouse, then when your batch closes out, if it goes to that warehouse, just deny it and start over till you get the warehouse you want.
Yeah, it is. It's really bad. I mean, people are
Sarah said
losing.
she just lost a box of shoes too. And
Oh,
Sarah, you might want to take a moment to see, was it to this warehouse, and if you do, before the show is over, let us know.
it is. It's crazy. I've seen people who've lost, 200 boxes of Nike shoes, and
Yeah.
that those are a good chunk of change, and
Oh God.
Amazon's just not doing anything.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about blackout type stickers for covering up prices. I thought this one was cool. So I went ahead and clicked on a couple of the suggestions, and we've got this one here that's just completely black. I just print a black box on mine and call her good, because I don't.
And what are you covering with a black sticker? Pricing?
Yeah, sometimes pricing. Sometimes they'll say, $5 or Big Lots $5 or something, and I'll cover
I've
that
never
up.
used a black sticker. I've always used the white stickers, but sometimes you have to use two white stickers because that verbiage shows through the sheerness of a white sticker. I never even considered a black sticker. What I usually do, there's a supplier I've been buying from for years on eBay that sells security labels, like yes, exactly. That's the kind. And they come in different shapes and sizes. There's circle ones, and I will put those over pricing because I feel like it looks less like I've covered something than if you use, say, that black sticker. It looks like you've purposely covered something. This looks like it just came from the store that way. And when you peel it off, it leaves the silver residue still on the packaging.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know, thinking about getting that. I'm going to add it to my cart.
Yeah, I've been
They're
using
only
them for years.
$7.99.
Yeah. And you can look on eBay, if you want to price shop, for those that want to, eBay versus Amazon. And there's different shapes. The long oblong one like that Lucy showed, squares, 1-inch squares. There's the circles. I don't know about if they do on Amazon. My supplier is on eBay, but I like the round ones a lot too. They seem to sometimes be like that perfect size to cover the thing.
Yeah, definitely. Heather, good morning, Heather. Just joining. Anyone send a shipment through Inventory Lab, or should I go directly? I've been still sending through. Inventory Lab has stated to use, when you get to the Seller Central page, it says either use the new workflow or use the old workflow. Just use the old workflow. And for right now, that is the situation. And so I'll be using that for this week until they fix things.
They'll get it corrected in January once the height of the season is
pretty
over.
much. I'll get it fixed in January.
It's such a great attitude I have. I've been like this the last couple of days. It's such a great attitude.
That's all right. You're allowed to have a bad attitude. You just can't get stuck in the bad attitude.
That's right. You cannot stay there.
You cannot stay there. And I've had days where I'm like, okay, that's it. It's just a bad day. It's going to be labeled a bad day. I am just
my day's going to suck. I've made up my mind right now. Everything's going to go wrong.
Yep. Yeah, Heather had a bad day yesterday too. Poor thing. We all have bad days. Some are worse than others. All right. People have been talking about the express payouts.
Yes.
So you can go into your account, and I think it's under the banking. It's under like deposit methods. I want to say deposit methods. Good morning, Craig. And under deposits methods, you can have your regular payout and then express payout, and you can sign up for express payout. But I can't. I am restricted because my bank is not an approved bank there, which I'm getting really irritated with my bank. They redid their website, and it's worse than it was before. I'm like, you didn't add anything. It's like outdated. It needs to be updated. Their update made it feel like it's older. I have less options as a business owner. It's just been really restrictive as I grow here. And I'm going to be shopping around for more banks. But for those that do have the opportunity, you can do the express payout, and that just pays you your balance out with the hit of a button. So definitely sign up for that during Q4 if you have the option. You never know when you're going to need it. So I always like to sign up for things because you never know when it's going to be restricted. I had somebody wanting to do, what was it, Amazon Seller Fulfilled Prime. And I'm like, it's an application button and it's closed right now. So you don't know when it's going to be open and when it's going to be closed. So don't sit here and think, oh, I'll do that next week. I'll do that in 2 weeks. If you don't like your bank, I can give you a deposit slip. I bet you can. I bet you can. All right. Next up, how do you package items that have strong scents? I thought this was a good question.
It was a good question.
Yeah, soaps, body wash. I mean, I just polybag. What about you?
I just polybag too, but there's times I have thought about that when, you're sending in mixed package shipments, right? And you're afraid that, let's say you're sending this strong scented soap next to a package of food that you feel could maybe absorb the flavor, the scent of this, item. These things have crossed my mind in the past as well. And what I do is I just polybag them. That's all I do. And I honestly won't commingle them with items that I feel like, gosh, am I going to taste this flavor on this cookie that I just packed, type of a situation. So I tend to try to put more like items together in shipments. You can easily do that. So, or, what if you don't want that smell to be on clothing item, try to keep all your clothes and shoes together, your food items together, and bulk ship like items together if possible. But no, I don't do anything other than polybag them.
So, funny story. I like the little, at the store, you can get them the little sachet packs and you can put them in your drawers. I like to put those in my drawers every once in a while. And I had some really.
I think you were going to say I like to throw those in my shipments. I don't know why. I thought you were
at work. I like to throw them in my drawer and then it smells good in the office, right? Well, I had some really nice chocolate that I put in the drawer, and then the chocolate took on that flavor. So
it did. See, and I've questioned really if that happened. So I will not
have anything. Yeah, I didn't have anything polybagged, but I was upset. I lost my chocolate.
Yeah.
But I do the same thing. I'll if something's particularly smelly, I'll make sure I pack it kind of in a different box or somewhere that's not near something that I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
I send a smaller box and do a bulk buy.
Yeah.
Good idea. Good idea. All right. Last slide. So if anybody has any questions you want addressed, go ahead and ask them now because I got my last slide coming up here. And if you are watching the replay and you want to ask a question, we will talk about it next one. So this one was interesting. I pulled this from somebody's Facebook page. They have been seeing some strange orders that could look something like this. John Smith, A07, whatever, Seattle, Washington. It could be a coincidence, but I think Amazon is doing a powerful audit before the holidays using test buys and advancing algorithms. Like I said, it could be a coincidence, but it could totally be overthinking. But every time I see an order for Washington, it raises eyebrows. Be careful, package your items right, be cautious, and then be cautious of VAs who are working for you. And that was interesting. Yeah, Amazon is just down the street from me here, and their address is easily looked up. But that was an interesting one. I'm like, had not seen that before. I have seen a ton of smackdown on people who have related addresses and VAs and third-party centers and third-party softwares getting people shut down for having accounts related. Have you seen anything, or what's your take?
I've seen just some random posts. In all honesty, I haven't spent a great deal of time in regular Facebook land for quite some time. I really focus on just our groups lately, especially now with the paid groups and keeping up with the leads, every morning I spend an hour to an hour and a half just doing that. So it's just like, it doesn't give me time to like leisurely keep on top of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just have seen a high uptick of accounts. My account was shut down. It was shut down for related accounts. And then the comments
And I have
are, well,
a few of those. Yeah.
are you using a third-party fulfillment center? Oh, yes, I use this one over here. Okay, well, everything from that 3PL got shut down, and that's not good.
And I wonder, and I am curious if these particular sellers have that address already in their Amazon account. So there was a short time I used a shipment fulfillment, where I'd send my items. They're very short lived because it's a very bad experience, not because my account was in jeopardy. And I do have 2 different addresses, actually 3 different addresses in my Amazon account that I have put in there that it is being shipped from here. They're like an approved address. I can't recall what that area is called within my Amazon account. I will need to look. But it does make me wonder, do they have this particular address in their Amazon account? So Amazon knows that, hey, this is me and it's coming from this address. Or does that even matter? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, it's a tough one, and it's tough to see how you want to link or not have linked different accounts. Like, I have access to somebody else's account because I'm an authorized user. So it's all done through Amazon and it's authorized. What I would not do is give somebody else, like, let's say I gave Tina my login and my account password and she logged
Yeah,
in
you
over
can't
on her
ever do that.
house.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we can't ever do that. That would get us
No.
both shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they would link her IP address with my account and be like, no, you cannot do that. And they'd shut us both down for
Yeah.
linking the account. So you've got to, again, if you are thinking of doing any sort of business with anybody else, learn what they link, how to not link, etc. But I could give Tina access to my account and she could log in through that access, and that is okay.
Yeah.
What they don't want is multiple. They don't want somebody to have multiple accounts without permission. You can get permission, but
You grant
yeah.
it through your Amazon seller account in your settings. You
Mm-hmm.
can, like, my bookkeeper has access to my Amazon account through Amazon. I've sent my bookkeeper that invite, and then you can pick and choose what parts of your Amazon account they can and cannot access. So you have complete control over that in your Amazon account.
Yep, exactly. And you want to do it legitly through that way. And yeah, my CPA has access. I have software that has access, and it should be fine because you're doing everything the way they want it to be done. But yeah, oh man, I get hit up several times for people that want to set up an Amazon account in America and they're not American. And Amazon's really cracking down on that because they want, they're doing all this address verification. So if you're just starting out on Amazon, you're going to need to provide a utility bill, and they send you a postcard with your that you have to receive at said address. And they are making it difficult for people who do not live here to get an American account, which I kind of like personally. I'm tired of seeing so many accounts that are not American based, and then they do nasty stuff. Every once in a while you have good ones, right? But a lot of times they set up shop and then in 2 weeks they take down shop.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got planned for the rest of the day?
As always, after this, paperwork. It's always Paperwork Friday.
Paperwork
Do the
Friday,
personal
yeah.
paperwork, the business paperwork, and just all those just not fun tasks. That's one of my least favorite things to do, but it must be done. And once it's done, it does, like, I like knowing where I stand, right? Like, I like knowing I'm on track or I'm not on track. So I like the end results, but I truly don't like doing the task of paperwork and the bills. And I just don't like it. It's not fun.
No, it's definitely a task that needs to be done and get her done quick. I too will file paperwork quickly, and then I've got some products. I'm hoping they told me they fixed something, and we'll see if they fixed it. I needed a subcategory changed on a product, and they said that got fixed yesterday, and to wait 48 hours every freaking time.
48-hour wait time.
Yeah.
Oh, so Land Shark Picker says, I worked at Amazon for almost 2 years, and you would be amazed at what I saw from third-party sellers. I would love to have you on our live just to talk about that, because that would be really fun.
Yeah. So what would happen with third-party sellers is they'd create an account, they'd go to whatever, they don't even have to get a product. They would virtually sell whatever, something high end, we'll say an iPhone or an iPhone accessory or something.
Very cheap.
For very cheap, and they would sell 1,000 in a week. And then they would take the money, and
they were out.
Then they would take the money and empty the account and go. And so they would be using fake addresses, fake names, fake everything. And that's why there's locks on your reserve account when you start an Amazon account, because if they find that you didn't fulfill
are the ones
orders,
that caused that. Yeah. These and this is what Amazon is ultimately trying to clean up. And it is unfortunate for the legit sellers that are possibly overseas that just want better income in life by getting a US based account. Our Amazon is, in the States, is a bigger shop platform than Amazon is in some other countries.
So then they wised up, and they were like, okay, now I got to wait for that reserve to get undone. So what they would do is they would mail an empty envelope and pay first class and get a tracking number. So they've sold you some item, and you've paid, whatever, $80 for the item, and the shipping should be in the $20 to $30 range, but they paid $3, $4, got a first class tracking number. They enter in that tracking number to show Amazon that they've shipped the item. And by the time it gets to the person and they get it figured out, they've now gone through and gotten their payout, because, they'll start getting emails saying, where's my stuff? I got a blank envelope, blah, blah, blah. And they'll, back and forth just to wean out that time until they can take the reserve money and go. And that was a new one. Yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff. Yeah. Craig says, example, Chinese seller forcing customer to return item to China, not to US-based address. Yeah. Yep. I've had that too, where I get a shirt or something there. I got a shirt. It was terrible. It was like, I don't know who sewed this, but they didn't sew it right. It didn't, like, it was terrible. And so I was trying to return it, and they kept arguing with me. Well, you need to return it here. No, I'm not returning it there. I'm going to return it, to the Amazon center. And then they were like, well, how about we just split the difference? No, I'm not splitting the difference. I pay up for my Prime. I pay good money to have, good product and have that return available to me as a customer. And they went back and forth over about 4 or 5 days with me, trying to get me to take some of the cost. And finally I won, and they boogered off. But I do not like doing business with them. Definitely makes me aware of who my seller is when I'm buying things.
Yeah.
We should have you on, Craig. I would love to hear more stories.
Yeah, it would be fun.
It would be fun. Let me know if you'd be interested. Shoot me a message. All right. Well, I've got things to do here too, as well as paperwork. Fun times. What are you doing this weekend? Anything fun?
I'm going to do some sourcing. I'm going to go out and hit the stores.
Good. I'm not sure what I'm doing. My husband's still out of town until Monday, I think. And all right, I'll reach out to you and talk to you. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm going to take tonight off and catch up on some TV and relax a little bit. All right, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, you guys. We appreciate you hanging out with us every Friday.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Good luck if you're out there shopping.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.